Hey guys, Chesypoof here with another edition of the Quick Look series. Today we're going to actually get the entire Earthworm Jim action figure collection. Ooh, excited? I don't know about you guys, but for me, Earthworm Jim was one of my favorite games back in the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis days. So, when they had the Earthworm Jim cartoon series on, they released a series of the figures as well. And those were made by Playmates, which, as we know, are also the creators that made the awesome lines of Ninja Turtle action figures. So since I finished my collection, I figured we'd go ahead and show all of those off. First, we can start with the classic Earthworm Jim himself. Yes, as you can see, I had all the figures on the wall previously, but now I'm going to show them off since the collection's finished. This was the red variant, as you can see. He had the blaster and, of course, Snot. A few of the different guns there. And it's just in that pristine condition. I know the first few Earthworm Jim figures that I had, of course, are not in that quality. But I still have at least the original one. I lost my battle damage one, or traded it in back in the day. But that's the classic Earthworm Jim. He had different variants though, so that was the red version. Of course, that's what I have on my wall right there. There we go. And he came in a classic green variant as well, that I can show you right here. So that's how Snot looked, of course, but the only difference being with this, that all the weapons and accessories are green. So now, of course, once again, let's go to that Playmates logo. We have Earthworm Jim in special deep sea mission suit. So he comes with a fish, another gun, some more guns over there, a little knife. But you can see he's already ready and willing to jump in the water. Next, we have Princess What's-Her-Name, who was the love interest of the show, of the games. Of course, she comes with some of those accessories. She was the Princess Peach, basically, of the Earthworm Jim universe. This is the figure that apparently most people have kept in the boxes, for whatever reason that you can usually find on eBay, but I got it with the collection. And of course, you have to have her to get it. Then we have Bob, plus number 4. Bob, if you did not know, is not actually this cat. Bob is this goldfish, who's one of the bosses, and this was basically one of his henchmen, his bodyguard, and that was number 4, the catatonic cat servant. Alright. You can see some of those great details that Playmates always had, just with every single detail, even on the fish, of course, even on Bob's. Then we have Hintrat, who is another one of the minions, and then Evil the Cat, who of course was one of the other big bosses. For the most part, most of the bosses are very, very tiny in comparison to a lot of the other characters in the show, but then again, remember, Earthworm Jim is a worm that just sits inside a super suit, and that's what gives him the powers. Speaking of that, that's Psychro. That's actually how the suit got to Earth, was Psychro was trying to get everything, but Jim was the one that fell into the suit. You notice there is something different about these packages of these last two, and apparently when I finished my collection, I finished it in a different way, and I didn't notice. Now you see at the bottom here, the toy company is called Replay, as compared to the Playmates. And I was really confused at first too. It's like, oh no, I finally got Psychro, but the boxes are completely different. So what happened is these Replay ones came out in 2002, and then the actual figures came out a lot. The other original figures came out in '94, And then these new ones, these replays, came out in 2002. But what you notice about them is it seems their build, of course, wasn't as good as the different qualities here. This is the battle damaged Earthworm Jim. You can see he comes with snot and the guns as well. And this is the one where the chest piece actually pops out. On this one, his head pops out if you press the button on the back. But you can see the damage that was to all the super suit. And one of the things that you might notice just from visualizing it here on the camera is just the colors and things like that are a little bit off. You can see he's bright and pink in this one, and he's more of like a dead yellow peach in this one. For the most part, I mean, the cases look a little bit bigger. You can see the size differentiation between those two right there. So they wasted a little bit more paper, but then they saved on the plastic. As you can see, these ones are the big squared plastic, and these ones are just fitting right over top. So, I didn't get over to Peter the puppy yet, but I figured I'd save him so we can show some of those differences between the two. So here's Peter the puppy. Peter puppy, as you can tell, he's this little guy right here, but every now and then he basically hulked out and he can turn into this giant dog monster. And this was one of the best ways that I can tell the difference, at least with the Playmates toys and then the other ones over here, the replay toys. You can see this figure right here. He looks a little bit more badass, but he's just got his mouth closed. But one of the things that you'll notice is the spikes on his arms, just the protrusion of his bones. They're basically the same color as if they're just made out of fur, as compared to looking over here and seeing they're completely different color. They're more bone colored, things like that. If you can visualize it a little bit there, you can see Peter's got some pupils for that puppy. But over here, it's just a single black dot. You can't visualize anything else because that's the only way they painted him. They didn't give him an entire belt. It seems like they figured only one side was good as compared to the full. And Peter, though, he basically looks the same. He's the white and blue. They didn't add many other colors. Basically the same. But you can see those slight differentiations between some of the accessories there. Mainly it just looks like the colors aren't as good. Like they used a cheaper plastic paint or acrylic or whatnot. You can see just with the Earthworm Jim here, with the special deep sea mission suit, that he's that lighter color as well. And just certain things just look a little bit off with the replay version. Back over there, you can see the bright coloring. Just mixing the two together, you can at least see the slight difference in colors. But they're basically the same. So those are the different Earthworm Jim figures. Back in 1994 and 2002, one's from Playmates and the other's from Replay. Basically the same molds, but they changed the colors and things like that. And that's it for this edition of the Quick Looks. See you guys next time.